Hello children. Today we'll start with lesson 3, perspectives in communication. Perspective is defined as an attitude or feeling about something. So we'll learn the definition in the next paragraph. Let us understand this example first. Mr. and Mrs. Sharma have just shifted to a new neighborhood with their son Vivan. He has a Down syndrome, which is a genetic disorder which causes a person to have distinct physical features and mental ability. Mrs. Sharma takes her son to the park every morning. No child interacts with her son except Rohan, because all the mothers except Rohan have told their children not to play or to talk with Vivan, fearing that he might get violent with their children. So, Rohan's mother has read a lot about children with Down syndrome. While all the mothers think that children with special needs are prone to violence, Rohan's mother knows this is not true. So, they all mothers have formed a wrong perspective about him. So, this example clearly defines perspective. Perspective is individual's point of view through which we interpret and understand every communication and event happening around us. It can be everybody's point of view, everybody's opinion, whatever they think or feel about something, they make their own views about it. So different people have different perspectives as everyone sees things differently from others. We convey and interpret messages through the filters of our knowledge, beliefs, and motives. These filters form the basis of our perspective and reflect the way we see the world, the way we think about the persons we are communicating with, the way we communicate with them. See this example. In this example, two persons are there. The figure in between can be 6 or 9 for both of them. For one's perspective, it is 6, as could he 6 from his side. And for the other man, it could be 9 because he can see 9 from his side. So their perspective is different, but both are right. We all have different perspectives or different ways that we view things and events. Two different people who see the same thing will describe it differently depending on their own point of views. Next is factors affecting perspectives in communication. Visual perspective. Our brain processes the information seen through the eyes and interprets it. Visual perspective refers to our tendency to focus only on the parts of a scenario that we are most inclined to notice. That means whatever we focus only on that part, we make our own perspective. There could be the other part also. Let's understand with this given example. If you see this figure, what do you notice? The two black faces in the foreground with a white background, or the other is of a white vase in the front with a black background. So there are two scenarios in the visual perception. The person can either notice the two faces with white background, or the other one can be the vase in front of the black background. So both are correct, but the visual perspective matters. What could have seen what person have seen it. There is another example. You must have heard people say beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. It is not the eyes but the brain that tells us to think of something as beautiful or not. Most of our visual perceptions are judgments that we make about people we are communicating with. Some of the judgments that we make are about qualification of the person, mental capability of the person, position and the financial status of the person. This saying describes if someone says beauty is in the eye of the beholder, means that people may have different opinions on what is beautiful. For one person, it is pleasing to the eyes, or for the other, it is ugly. So it depends how the brain tells them what is beautiful. Next factor is language. Perspectives play a role in the interpretation of words as well. Some words can have very different meanings depending how we interpret them. Larry Barker said, effective listeners remember that words have no meaning, people have meaning. The assignment of meaning to a term is an internal process as meaning comes from inside us. And although our experiences, knowledge, and attitudes differ, we often misinterpret each other's messages while under the illusion that a common understanding has been achieved. For example, the man is fair can be interpreted in two different ways. The man has fair complexion or the man is unbiased in his judgment. So, most of the times we think our intended meaning may be clear, but we cannot always be sure that the other person will read or hear the statements in the same way. It could be same or it could be different. So, it is advisable to use words or synonyms that express the exact thought or emotion that leave the least to interpretation so that it can have the same meaning. Next is past experiences. We enter a situation or communication with certain expectations of what will happen and behave accordingly. These are based on the filters or perspectives that we have developed due to our past experiences. See this example. You are incredibly nervous the first time when you perform on a stage. But after your teacher or friends appreciate you, you are much more comfortable and confident the next time you step on the stage. With the example, you also have must noticed whenever your teacher tells you to go on a stage for anything, first you feel nervous, but with your friends' help and teacher's help, you feel courage and able to speak in front of the people. So that is called perspective or through past experiences. Maybe first in the first stage you were not so good, so that's why you always have fear to uh, be there on the stage. But the next time when your teacher or anybody helped you, then you will be feeling more comfortable, and if goes good, that makes you more comfortable for the next time also. So this is called past experiences. Next is, there are more examples about past experiences that can affect our behavior. Past experience was you spoke in the class and the class laughed. So you always feel hesitate in speaking up in the class from now onwards. Your classmate refused the last time you asked him to give his science notebook. So results would you don't ask him this time even though he may have agreed this time. So whatever was our past experience also has effect on our behavior. All of us have positive as well as negative experiences throughout our life. However, we must take care that our past negative experience do not affect our behavior or the way we communicate with others. Some negative experiences also serve as a caution and help us to protect ourselves from dangerous situations. The next is attitude. Attitude is a mindset that decides how an individual perceives an idea or a situation and responds to it. For example, see, look at the glass of water. Is it half filled or half empty? Maybe already have heard about this example. Okay, what is this half of the glass of water? It's filled or empty. So, when looking at the glass of water, there can be two opinions, half full or or half empty. These opinions or perceptions depend upon the person's state of mind. This example is often used as a metaphor for life to distinguish optimistic people from the pessimistic. Let me tell you with another example. If I think that junk foods are unhealthy as it has very high sugar or fats, so it means I have a negative attitude towards junk food. Or for someone else, it may be good for certain reasons. So that is attitude. What is our next point is prejudice. Prejudice. Prejudice is an idea or opinion that is not based on fact, logic, or experience. Prejudice is considered a negative attitude, especially when it is related to hatred or intolerance for certain group of people. Prejudices are partly due to culture and partly due to personal preferences. When we act on our prejudices, then it becomes discrimination. When we discriminate, we make decisions without trying to find all the necessary information about the person or the group that we are judging. Prejudice means a feeling or an opinion that is totally negative. Prejudice, in other words, is a baseless or typically negative attitude that an individual can hold towards someone else. Prejudiced attitudes are marked by negative feelings towards someone are often based on stereotypes, such as a belief that all black people are unemployed criminals. They make a thought and start feeling positively on that and making an attitude towards them very negative. So that is known as prejudice. Next factor is environment. Do you speak to your parents in the same way that you do to your friend? The answer to this question would be no. All of us communicate differently in different environments. For example, some students hesitate to voice their opinions in the classroom, but others thrive on the attention of their classmates. Even when a teacher asks you something, some students hesitate to answer, but some immediately respond. So, while some students enjoy and learn more from classroom discussions, but the shy students do not speak up in the class. So, if the teacher talks to the shy students personally, they are better able to convey their problems and opinions. So, recognizing how the environment affects your communication with others help you to understand why someone might be communicating in a particular way. This understanding further helps you to create or choose an environment that is conducive for the specific communication. For instance, in the above example, if a teacher knows her student's personality, she can hold fruitful discussions in the class and also give personal attention to the shy students so that they can build more confidence. The next factor is feelings. There are two ways in which your feelings can influence your communication with another person. The first one refers to the way how you feel on a specific day. If you're feeling well, you can communicate very well. But if you're feeling sick or in a bad mood, you will talk differently. So since your well-being changes, it transforms your way of communication on a particular day. Imagine your teacher snubs you and your friend comes to discuss her weekend plans with you. How could you react? Maybe it happened generally with you when a teacher snubs you or the scolding you and your friend asks you something immediate time. So how would you react? Do you generally respond the same way to such request or your behavior changes? So, if you are finding it difficult to communicate due to illness or other physical or mental stress, acknowledge it. It will help others to understand that the change in your communication style is due to your illness or stress. The second aspect related to feelings refers to how you feel about a specific person. Again, that means if you are liking that person, that you will behave or talk very generally. Otherwise, you will not respond nicely. So the next is beliefs. Our beliefs form a vicious cycle. Our beliefs form a vicious cycle. Our unique perspectives with which we interpret any message or event stems from our belief system. Beliefs shape our behavior, which in turn affects our communication style. This elicits responses from others and determines the result of an interaction, and the reactions further reinforce our beliefs. Say this example which we have studied in the starting. Rohan believes that nobody likes him. Due to this belief, he does not trust anyone and stays aloof. He usually behaves aggressively because he thinks that this is the only way to show his resentment towards others. Because of this behavior and communication style, people avoid interacting with him. So this response reinforces his belief that nobody likes him. Therefore, the belief system is a vicious cycle that repeats itself. I think you are very clear with this example. Once the Rohan started believing nobody likes him, but then in return when the responses come, it also showing same thing because he was always answering aggressively to the others. So the people started avoiding him. So again this response makes his belief that nobody likes him. So this vicious cycle always repeats unless we make a conscious decision and put in disciplined efforts to change it so that we can think, behave and communicate in a better way. There is a theory by Dr. Eric Bernays on transactional analysis describes the effect of our belief system on our behavior. This theory outlines how we treat ourselves, how we relate and communicate with others. Dr. Bernay has proposed 4 life positions that each of us may take in approaching any interaction. First of all, you should know what is life position. Life position are the basic beliefs about self and others which are used to justify decisions and behavior. So, for these life positions are based on I am okay, you are not okay, the first one. Second is I am okay, you are okay. Third, I am not okay, you are not okay. Fourth, I am not okay, you are okay. We'll explain you in the next one. These life positions represent combination of one's attitude about oneself and the other people with whom he is interacting. For example, I'm not okay, that means I do not believe in my opinion. You are okay means I think you are superior or have better judgment than me. The person who has this problem of belief system If he is saying I'm not okay, that means he is not believing in his opinions, or you are okay means he is thinking that the other person is more superior than him. Let us understand with this table. First, if I am okay, you are okay. This first box. I am okay, you are okay. That means a mentally healthy position. It is the person from the both sides are having healthy mental position. People with this position about themselves have and others can solve their problems constructively. Their expectations are likely to be valid. They accept the significance of other people. That means the person has very clear and calm behavior. The next is I am okay, you are not okay. I am okay, you are not okay. It is a position of persons who feel victimized or aggressive with others. They blame others for their mistakes. So they have this position and taken on paranoid behavior, which in extreme cases may lead to homicide. They are very loud and angry in behavior. The third is I'm not okay, you are okay. In this, they hesitate to assert ideas. That means it is a common position of persons who feel powerless when they compare themselves to others. This position leads them to withdraw, to experience depression, and in severe cases to become suicidal. They always hesitate to put their efforts in the work. Next is I'm not okay, you are not okay. That means he is also not good in his opinion, and he also is not thinking the other person is good. The last is the position of those who lose interest. They are very emotional in their expressions. So they always conflict. They does not accept or follow the group's decision. That's all. Here's our assessment time. Go through the blanks, fill in the blanks and question answers and understand the concept what is described in the chapter. Go through it. If you have any kind of query, do ask in the comment box.